the person. Now, if those rights are not enumerated in the Constitution, it does not mean that the person does not have that right. So, that is the status in United States. In the United States, if the right has not been explicitly mentioned in the Constitution also, but that is an inalienable natural right, then that right will continue to exist and the person will continue to hold that right. Whereas in India, it is not the case. There is no question of theory of natural right or spirit of constitution or anything like that. Now, courts, what is the courts can do is, there is a limitation on court, whereas in US there is no limitation on court. Please understand this. In US it is judicial supremacy. Now, court can invent in its own doctrine saying that it is a theory of natural rights. Based on this theory of natural rights, he has this right. The court can say that. But in India, the court cannot say that on the theory of natural rights or the spirit of constitution. But the only thing is, whatever has been written as a right in the law, the explicitly what it is stating, or court can go ahead and state what implicitly would mean. Explicit and implicitly it would mean. So the Supreme Court has gone ahead and it has given a wider definition for this Article 21. So in Indian context, when we read, we will understand it very well. Every word has a meaning. So see, there is a difference between the freedom for the courts in India and for the courts in US. In US, understand this concept very, very clearly. In the US, the courts have maximum freedom and they can invent whatever doctrines they want on different philosophies. They can say the spirit of constitution, the spirit of humanity, the spirit of dash this, dash this, dash this, yes. But in India, the court can give an explanation. They will have to identify the words, and on that word they can give a broader and wider meaning to that word and then expand the scope of that article. But if that's all what the courts can do, so it is limited by the number of words that has been used in that article, right? So that is the point which you need to understand very well. So Indian courts, explicit rights, whatever they have given, it is there. Apart from explicit rights, implicitly what it means, that is called as judicial interpretations. So judicial interpretations. So these are the 2 points. So that's what. That's the whole statement goes like this. So legislature is sovereign except in so far as the judicial explicit or implicit judicial interpretations. So except in those things, the legislature is sovereign. So this is the basic differences between the fundamental rights in United States and fundamental rights in India. So what are the 5 differences which we found? Number 1, the first and foremost, American Bill of Rights is absolute, whereas Indian fundamental rights is not absolute. What do we mean by absolute? Absolute means it is, if I say he is a man, he is a man. That's it. There is no limitation on that. Whereas if he is a man, if he does so and so, then there is a limitation. Only if he does so and so, there is a result. So I am limiting it. So Indian fundamental rights are like that. So every article has its own limitations. So Indian rights are not absolute. And in US, the judicial supremacy is there, because of which the courts can, it is the prerogative of the court to initiate an action. If there is any to stop this, to go against any Bill of Rights, to restrict any rights as enumerated in Bill of Rights. Whereas in India, the legislature will make the law and court will come later into the picture. Once the law is made, the court will come and say, okay, Mr. Legislature, this is right or wrong. So in India, it is more like a post-mortem thing. Whereas in US, it is like a pre-mortem. That is, it is the whole key is in the hand of legislature. Now the second point is this 44th amendment which Janata government brought, wherein they removed this whole article 31 itself of right to property, and they said that legislature is the protector of individual property. Now the question would rise, if legislature is considered to be infallible, then what is this whole question of fundamental rights? So then it is not the case. And the third point what we said was this exceptions to fundamental rights. For example, 31A, 31B, 31C, 31D is repealed. Review that. 31A and 31C are exceptions to 14 and 19. 31B is well, say 14 and 19, basically if there is any law which is made to pursue Article 31A, that is the agrarian reform, and 31C, that is the DPSP, then such a law can contravene these fundamental rights, and that won't be, if it is contravening these fundamental rights, then it won't be held unconstitutional. Now Article 13, this is an exception for Article 13, because Article 13 said that any law, the state shall not make any law in contravention to any part of these fundamental rights, and it is unconstitutional. Is the whole law unconstitutional? Write this down. Understand this concept very correctly. The whole law is not unconstitutional. Only that part of the law which contravenes, that part is unconstitutional. So if the law has A, B, C, D and only D is contravening, then only A, B, C is constitutional. It is right. Whereas only the part of D is unconstitutional. So that is the Article 13, whereas this 31A and 31C, it is no, what are you doing, Mr. 31A and 31C is exception to Article 14 and Article 19. And if you have a 31B, put any law under 31B, then you are bypassing everything. You have a whole blanket of protection of constitutional invalid. That is, there is no judicial review, except as so far as you don't disturb the basic structure of the constitution. That is the Keshwanandi Bharata case. Now, then that is the third point, and the fourth point is the fundamental duties. If they have violated gravely, if you have violated the fundamental duties, then you cannot claim the fundamental rights. Then the fifth and foremost point is in America there are judicial supremacy exists, as a result of which there are certain other than enumerated rights like theory of inalienable natural rights, etc. Whereas in India it is not the case. In India the courts do not have the power to go whole out of the world and invent something. No, all the power has been given to the court is, if you are given a statement, what explicitly the statement means, that's the first point. And second one important power what you have done is, you can make an implicit meanings. You can give wide connotations to certain words. For example, life. What is life? Life includes education. Life includes a lot of things. That's what the Supreme Court has done in case of Article 21, which you will understand very well when you go through the articles in the subsequent question. So this is how fundamental rights is different in now. So till now, so this should be your first part of the first class, wherein the first part of the first class. Then you will break on now for this. Wherein till this class, you should be clear with this following topics: how fundamental rights, how the individual liberty is protected in England, how the fundamental rights are protected in United States, and how India has a blend of both United States and UK. So these are the 3 points which your note should carry, and these are the 3 points which you have any doubts, you can just write down. Now, after completing this, I would suggest you to take NAmma IAS test 1 on this fundamental rights part 1, where you are all the concepts, if your concepts are right, you should be getting those questions right, and it works either way. So if your concepts are right, just have a small test on that NAmma IAS 1, which is on that blog of in our website. We have released this http NAmma IAS where you are watching this website basically, and NAmmaIAS.blogspot.com. we have released this test 1. So kindly go ahead and take the test 1 and understand your understanding. Only after you are confident, if you don't score well in that test, rerun this video and again take the test. Only after doing the test 1, please follow my next video. Thank you.